Hello, my name is Carey-Lyn and I'm part of the Musicplay team. Welcome to the extra week in October, the one that we really needed, right? Woo! Anyway, October week 5, lesson extra, because I don't have a number for it. Anyway, if you're liking these videos or you're liking anything that we're creating, please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to like this video. And then if you have any thoughts, comments, you want to say something nice, I would love a nice comment. Just kidding. Definitely engage in our conversation though, and type your comments, and let's see what we're doing. So let's jump into Musicplay Online. First and foremost, here's the front page. You have two options. If you wanted to jump into a grade, definitely click over here. We're going to talk about pre-K first, so let's do pre-K. So click on pre-K, and you'll see the pre-K page. This is where all things pre-K live. Then on the little mini menu, learning modules, click on that, and you'll see only pre-K. Pre-K extra lesson, October week 5. That's the one we're going to talk about. If you wanted to get to this a different way, come over here to learning modules, and now you can see all the learning modules. On the little menu, you can click pre-K and just see the pre-K lesson here, pre-K extra lesson. The way that I'm going to go through all of these lessons, I'm going to come up here, add a filter, come over to months and weeks, scroll on down to October week 5. And now I see only October week 5. And this is how I'm going to show. So let's jump into pre-K. Alrighty, so pre-K October week 5 extra lesson. So some of this is going to be review. Most of it's going to be review because not every October has an extra week. So that's pretty much what to expect. If you're liking what I'm doing, definitely just keep going. If you want to see a little bit of changes, definitely come over here to copy to my list and make a copy because you know your classroom the best. You are the expert. So we're scrolling down. We're going to start with Time for Music, our fall welcome song. That's great. We're going to echo the spooky voices. Again, if you're not doing ghosts or maybe Halloween's over, practice item used, go to warm-ups and pick a new one, or do a different warm-up with your students. Scrolling down, freeze dance or play along with the music. Again, this is a different piece than it was last week, but same kind of idea. We're going to review Crisscross Applesauce. Last week we taught it. This year we're reviewing it. This week we are reviewing it. I've included just the kids demo, and so that you have a really quick refresher before you jump into playing it. If you're looking for the lyric video, definitely jump into the song used, that link right there, and that will bring you to it. Listen to high-low sounds. As I mentioned last time, pre-K, that's a pretty hard concept for them, high-low. So I'll be trying to bring it up almost every lesson as we're working on that concept. But again, it's just not another opportunity to work on high-low sounds. I've included Up, Up, Down, which is the Mortimer. This is a read-along video, but if you have the storybook, and it is always better to read with the students than to show a video of somebody else reading, right? So if you need it, definitely use it. It's there for you. This is a song. This is a storybook that you can add sound effects to. We have included some suggestions in the teacher guide. And of course, these instructions are under this link, under the song activities. So definitely check that out if you want to add instruments to it. Alrighty, scrolling through. We're going to, again, move to show high, middle, low sounds with Get You Moving. We talked about that last week, so pretty simple. And then play high-low sounds in your mystery box. So I don't know if we've done mystery box yet. I only picked up these lessons a couple of weeks ago. But, so you're playing high and low sounds in your mystery box. So the idea is that you have a mystery box. Let me go get it for us. And I should have brought everything with me, but we'll just handle what we've got, you know? So the idea here is that you have a mystery box, And you want to play sounds and then have the students tell you, is it a high sound? Is it a low sound? So let me just, I sat down too quick, I think. Oh well. That's better. Okay, I'm ready. Alrighty, so now, class, is this a high sound or a low sound? Low sound. Is this a high sound or a low sound? Low sound again? What? Wild. Anyway, I have some suggestions. You could use a larger drum for a low sound. Again, a glockenspiel works really nicely too. I have included the kids' glock. If you have it on your phone, you just put your phone down and then you're tapping the different notes. That works as well. And in here, I mostly have very interesting instruments, which is part of a different lesson. So let me just remove that. And put this on the ground. So those are some suggestions for high-low sounds. But I would use anything that you have already been labeling as high-low. Definitely do that. Okay. Next. Review 5 Little Pumpkins. So 5 Little Pumpkins, again, that's teaching the song by immersion. This is a seasonal version, so it's just pumpkins and leaves. If you're looking for jack-o'-lanterns and ghosts, this version is not the right version. You want the version that is under this link, 5 Little Pumpkins. If you're past Halloween, this might not be appropriate anymore, so delete. Alrighty, scrolling through, we have a creating illustration of the song Little 5 Little Pumpkins, which we did last week as well. Review spider on the floor. So again, remember the spider is moving different places as you're singing the song and inviting children to think of new places the spider can be, and then creating a rhyme together. And they're creating different things. This is not Halloween specific, so it does work whether you're celebrating Halloween, whether you're doing this lesson before or after Halloween. Reviewing Incy Wincy Spider. Again, one of these spiders has a teeny tiny voice, and then one of these has a great big voice, right? So what is that? High, low? And again, all these instructions in the teacher guide. So definitely take a look. All right, scrolling through. Reviewing the letter C song. We already talked about that last week. And then reviewing Cool Cat. Again, these instructions are in the teacher guide, but I've included the kids demo so that you can kind of learn them real quick. Do the actions with the song. And then review Bony Skeletons and creating actions for the black cat and the ghost and the skeleton. Again, if you can't talk about ghosts, I would remove this song. Or if it's no longer Halloween, I would remove the song. So that was good. And then we close our time together with Skin and Marink. Hopefully that works for your extra special lesson in October, week 5. Let's move on to kindergarten. Alrighty, so now let's talk kindergarten, October, week 5, lesson extra. So here in the introduction, you'll see just a really quick numbered list. Take a look. If it works for you, awesome, keep rolling. If it doesn't, click on copy to my list and make your changes. Here, alphabet action, we weren't able to talk about it in other lessons, so I brought it here. This would be the only song that is new. Alrighty, let's keep going. So, we're going to start with singing the echoes to Welcome to School. We're going to play a little bit of freeze dance. If you're past Halloween, the Groovy Shakes is the least Halloween-y. But if you're still in the Halloween vibe and kind of excitement, definitely use the other Halloween songs. I would change it up. So whatever you used last week, don't use it again this week. All of these pieces do have a steady beat, so focus on keeping a steady beat. Here we're going to teach alphabet action. Alphabet action is basically a culmination of all the alphabet songs that we have. All the alphabet songs are in PreK. If you've already talked about all the alphabet songs, this is a great song to do. If you haven't done all the alphabet songs, no worries, it's still a great song to do. Give them a little taste of all the alphabets coming, right? So this is awesome. If you do have a pocket chart like that one, I would put the letters of the alphabet on there and point to them as you are singing. Start with that literacy. And then, of course, there's movement. So this next procedure is creating movement for alphabet action. This kids demo has some suggested movement, but it's very clear by the lyrics what movement should be. Again, if you're looking for more clear direction, definitely check out the teacher guide. Teacher guide, song activities, alphabet action. That's the one you want. Alrighty, scrolling through. Okay, so here we're also going to teach stop, look, and listen. This is a more of an opportunity to kind of talk about street safety. Hopefully this is before trick-or-treating has happened. Then you can have a little bit of a conversation. But you can even do it afterwards and kind of talk about it in more of a reflective way. What did we do? How did you stay safe on the street? Did you hold everyone's hand? You know, all those kind of really good questions. Basic skills, right? And this is also a really good song to start hearing the difference between speaking and singing. So identify when the singer sings and when there's spoken word. We do bring back candies in the bowl, which is great. Again, remember, jelly in the bowl, but candies in the bowl. Creative opportunities, two different kind of creative opportunities, really. You've got new verses, so substituting candies for whatever treat they got, maybe their favorite treat that they got while trick-or-treating. Mine was always pop, because my mom never let me have pop. Pop in the bowl. Pop in the bowl. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. Pop in the bowl. And then, of course, choosing instruments to go along with that. Playing pumpkin fat game. So I have included the instructions here and the kids demo, and that is the scary jack-o'-lantern face. And that is a very fun, popular game. Reviewing brush your teeth, of course, because I'm guessing we had a lot of candy, so we need to protect those pearly whites. And, of course, reviewing Halloween Looby Loo. We do have a parachute-free alternative here, but if you have a parachute, that is by far the favorite, and the hope, hopefully, you have it. And if not, that's okay too, but there is the alternative. And now we're going to close our space with Skinamarink. And that brings us to the end. Alrighty, now we're going to move on to grade 1. Welcome to grade 1, October, week 5, extra lesson. So, first things first, you're going to see the numbered list. If you look at it and you're like, yeah, it looks great, keep on rolling. If you need to make a little bit of extra zhuzh to it, definitely go up here, copy to my list, and make your changes. Now scrolling through. We're going to start with singing the echoes to Welcome to Music, and then we're going to do some vocal warm-ups with spooky sounds. If Halloween is over or you're looking for something different, definitely check out our other warm-ups, or just do warm-ups in your own class. Whatever works for you. Now, the next couple songs were pulled from Musicplay Kindergarten. Halloween Looby Loo is a favorite in kindergarten and also a favorite for grade 1. Honestly, probably a favorite all the way through. So this is a chance to experience 6/8, so definitely teach the song by rote or by immersion. As soon as you start listening to it, you'll recognize the tune. Ooh, 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 all on a Halloween night. You put your bat wing in. You get the idea. Probably in the key of me, but that's okay, right? And then I have play the Halloween Looby Loo game here. I do have a parachute-free alternative if you don't have a parachute, but again, parachute's always a favorite, so bring it out if you can. And there's that for you. Playing the fossils game. We talked about the fossil games last week. I brought it back because it's just too fun. So definitely play it if your students really found success with it. There's also an optional extension to label the form with cards. I have included it in the supplemental material. And basically the form, I would say, is more just, are the dinosaurs awake or are the security guards awake, and starting to label form very, very, very broadly. Alrighty, and now I've included Rattlebone Rock. This is an extension that is recommended in the Listening Kit 1 for fossils. I found this YouTube video very, very fun, but of course, if you have the storybook, I would 100% recommend you read it instead and create sound effects for the different scenes. But if you don't have the storybook, this is a great alternative as well. Here we're going to teach Pumpkin Fat. Again, Pumpkin Fat is from kindergarten. If you're looking for more information, don't look at the grade 1 teacher guide. Click this link and go to the kindergarten, and then you'll see the song activities there. So here, we're teaching the song by rote. It is a So-Me song, but if you haven't labeled So-Me yet, don't worry. Teach by rote because we have these solve activities for Pumpkin Fat here. And each activity kind of grows the practice. So here we're going to sing the song, and then we're going to show how the notes go higher and lower. The next one is tracing the melody, and it goes on and on. And of course, because we need some games, play the Pumpkin Fat game. I've included the instructions here and the kids demo as well for the visual. It's creating jack-o'-lantern faces, the scariest face possible, of course. If that works for you, great. If it doesn't, delete it. Alrighty, and now we do have an optional dramatizing the song Witch's Cat or Kitchen Cat. We don't have the recording for Kitchen Cat this year. Hopefully we will next year. But it is a really good opportunity to dramatize and move the body a little bit. And then we close our time together with The Music Time is Over. That is it for grade 1 October week 5 extra lesson. Now let's jump into grade 2. Alrighty, welcome to grade 2 October week 5 extra lesson. Here, the first thing you'll see is the introduction and the numbered list. If you take a look at it and looks good, great, continue on. If you need to make some changes, definitely copy to my list and make those changes. You are the expert in your classroom. Alrighty, scrolling through. We're going to start with singing the echoes in Welcome to Music, and then we're going to echo Maya for Do, Mi, So, La. I tried to pick a cool background one with like pirates and everything because it kind of made me think of Halloween. I don't know, might be a stretch, but teaching procedure 3, we're going to review Ikabaka. Of course, you'll guessed it, Do, Mi, So, La. What we echoed is the tone set for Ikabaka. If they are able, have them read the rhythms and the solfege and note names, but if they're not at the level yet, again, we are at the beginning of the year, just teach it by rote. Let's not put any kind of pressure on this kind of stuff. It's extra lesson week 5 after all, right? Anyway, it's too much fun. Okay, so jumping on down, and then we're going to play the Ikabaka game. I have included the instructions here if you're looking for them. Again, if you're looking for more information, definitely check out the teacher guide. This has way more information, but also all available on Musicplay Online under the song in the song list, under teacher tools, song activities. Okay. So now for procedure 5, we're going to create unpitched accompaniment for Ikabaka. In this demo, you'll remember that last week we had a different demo. This week I wanted to show the other demo. In this demo, every student plays a different line. So you see it's full of creative options, full of creative opportunity, and that is what is waiting for you, basically, if you choose to accept this task. If you're looking for these note manipulatives, they are in the beat and rhythm worksheet under pages 4 and 5 in the song Ikabaka. So definitely check those out. Now we review dynamics, take a little look at that, because we jump into In a Dark, Dark Wood. So now this is basically reading In a Dark, Dark Wood poem using dynamics. Try each line at a different dynamic level. So just click on these to pick the different dynamic levels and really mess it up, Just kidding. Do you go from quiet to loud, or loud to quiet, or a little mix in between? Again, creativity is always encouraged. Okay, scrolling through, we are going to sort the dynamics from quiet to loud now, just so that we close that loop in the teaching. And then we go on to teach What's That Creature? This is kind of a spooky song, but not Halloween related. So another good option if you're teaching before Halloween. And if you're still feeling like that's kind of the atmosphere that you want to foster, definitely keep this. If not, delete. Teach by rote. This song does give us an opportunity to kind of talk about major minor. How does it make you feel? I did include the interactive how does it make you feel. If you don't like this page, the next page is just the icons, and then the next page is just the words. I know grade 2, we're not really quite at that word reading yet, but we have the option for you. Alrighty, scrolling through, we're going to play the major minor game to work on that major minor in the ear. And then we close our time together with the music time is over. That is extra lesson for October week 5 for grade 2. Now let's jump into grade 3. Welcome to grade 3, October week 5 extra lesson. The lesson we didn't know we wanted, but we got anyway. Anyway, welcome to the lesson. The first thing you're going to see is the introduction. This is a numbered list and gives you a really quick view of what is upcoming. So definitely take a look, delete what you don't need, keep what you do. If you're going to do that, make sure to copy to my list and make your changes there. I did include some extensions here. I didn't quite get it all in. So if you're looking for something different, definitely check out those extensions. They are all from the teacher guide. I was going to say month outline, but October week 5 does not have a song list. So it's kind of a combination of the songs I didn't quite get to for the rest of October. Alrighty, scrolling through. We're going to open our space with a freeze dance. I did have a freeze dance, I believe, in the previous week. So just kind of try to pick a different sound so that we're listening to different music and keeping a steady beat. The one that is the least Halloween, actually, before I move on, is Groovy Shakes. So just keep that in mind. Okay, the next thing is creating a treat rondo. So if we're still in Halloween time, this is an opportunity to create a treat rondo. This is the printable, and this is the interactive. So pick what works for you in your classroom. And now we're going to go into doing a little bit of echo sing. So Echo the Crab singing Do Mi So in F major. I wonder why. What can we possibly be preparing for? You guessed it, bells in the steeple. Anyway, I've had too much coffee, clearly. So read the rhythms for bells in the steeple. Again, if your students are not at that level yet, they can't read rhythms, or they're not quite there yet, or they can't read solfa, not quite there, no worries, teach by rote. We will get there eventually, right? Luckily, it is a short song, so that's great. It is 3/4 time. So 3 beats per measure, and we do have a dotted half note, so keep that in mind. The next slide, we're going to address the 3/4. If you have already talked about 3/4, this is a good review. If you haven't, this is also a good opportunity to actually look into it, because the rhythm is pretty simple, which means there's no 2 sounds on a beat. It's all 1 sound on a beat, nice and clear. Alrighty. The next thing we're going to do is name solfa notes. If you do, awesome. If you don't, delete. And then I do have an opportunity to learn the ORF arrangement if that is available to you in your classroom. And I have included the creative instructions here that are a part of the PDF right here. So that's where they're from. Okay, and now we're going to close our lesson with finish reading or writing your spooky story. We started this a couple weeks ago, and now we're kind of just bringing it to a close. So finishing up any last minute tweaks, and then of course reading it with the interactive. That is the end for grade 3, October week 5 extra lesson. Now let's go to grade 4. Welcome back. We're going to talk about grade 4, October week 5 extra lesson. Before I continue, make sure that you hop onto YouTube and you subscribe and you like this video and you throw some comments down below. Whether you're using our material or not, I would love to hear from you. And yeah, It's going to be great. So let's jump into it. First things first, introduction. This numbered list is everything that is in this lesson. If that looks great, awesome, keep rolling. If you need to make some changes, copy to my list and make those changes. Already scrolling down. The first thing we're going to do is play Poison Melody, warm up our ear with Do, Re, Mi, So, La, because we're going to read the music for Pass the Pumpkin, which is, as you guessed, Do, Re, Mi, So, La. If your students are at the reading ability for this song, awesome. Have them read the rhythms, have them read the solfa, have them read the note names. If we are not there yet, no worries, let's teach by rote. Or just have them read the rhythms, or just read the solfa, Make it work for your class. So that is great. I have the notation here for you. And then we have playing the game Pass the Pumpkin. So I have the instructions here and the kids demo. Take a look. And if it works, great. Basically, you're creating a rhythm chain. Very, very fun. So if you have labeled the solfa, this is a great opportunity to name the solfa in a kind of quiz way. You have 5 lives. Don't worry about it. That's the solfa, and then the notes. And again, if you're copying into my list, delete what you're not using, because we can't use everything. Next, we review Makue. Last week, we talked about Makue, and that's the stick game, the Maori stick game. So this is a teaching by rote song, another 3/4 with a bit of a different rhythm. So it's tu and ta. So that is great. So we're reviewing that, and then we're reviewing 3/4. If you have labeled 3/4, awesome. This is a great review. If you haven't labeled 3/4 yet, no worries. This is a great song to do it because, as I mentioned, there are only 2 rhythms, and it's pretty clear that the ta there are 3 beats per measure, right? There is also an opportunity to have them conduct. So 1, 2, 3. Got your little angle. And again, remember, it's always in the right hand. The left hand is used for dynamics and expression. So, and generally pointing people out. What? No. Scrolling through. Play the Makue stick game. Again, this is the exact same stuff as the previous lesson. I didn't include the instructions here because there are a lot of instructions. So if you're looking for those very clear instructions, check out the teacher guide. Again, all the stuff is available in the song activities under the teacher tools in the song itself. Scrolling through. And now we kind of close our lesson with creating a rondo with treats. So here is the printable version of it, and here is the interactive. And then we end with Rhythm Racer. And here we actually do a rhythm race with 3/4 with ta, ti, rest. That's to kind of work on our ta, ti, rest, obviously, but also more working on the time signature 3/4. Hopefully that works for you. Let me know in the comment section. And now let's jump to grade 5. Alrighty, so for grade 5, October week 5, lesson extra. I guess it should probably be called extra lesson, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, first thing you're going to see is the numbered list. Take a quick look. Does it work for you? Awesome. Keep rolling. If it doesn't work, no worries. Copy to my list. Take what works, leave what doesn't. Edit. You're the expert in your classroom. We start with Play Along to Contra Dance number 4 in C major. This is a great little warm-up piece. We use different dynamic levels, and you can see the rhythms that we use. But the question is, when does the percussion enter? Because the next section is learning about the percussion family. If you've already talked about the percussion family to death, maybe you can find other activities under here. I have linked the unit, Instruments of the Orchestra, so click on there and see what other opportunities we have for percussion to discuss the percussion family that you might not have done yet. And for this lesson, I've kind of changed things up a little bit. I moved the rondo to the top of the lesson. So creating a rondo with treats, here's the printable version, and it's the same activity, but the interactive. Again, pick what works for you. And now we're going to jump into reviewing Lady in the Graveyard. We taught Lady in the Graveyard last week, and remember, this has our new note T, or B, if you are doing note names. And we also talked about the slur. So those are two different options that you can use to kind of review this song. If the students can read the notes, awesome. If they can't, no worries, teach by rote. Rhythms are pretty simple, so hopefully they can read the rhythms. If they can't, that's okay too. Teach by rote. Okay, and I've included two options. So option 1 is teaching the ORF arrangement. I've got some creative activities right there for you as well. Option 2 is playing it on ukuleles or guitar. It is one single chord, pretty simple, A minor, awesome. Okay, keep on scrolling. Now we're gonna play the dynamics pop quiz to kind of get our brains ready to do some dynamic work, because we are going to review dynamics, of course, and then put dynamics into a poem. So can you read it at different dynamic levels? How is it more effective when you start quiet and end loud? Is it more effective when you're just quiet the whole time and then scare somebody? Change it up a bit. See what is the most effective. If you are looking for a different poem, I would highly recommend writing your own poem, or having students write their own poems. But yes, this is just an option for you and a model if you're building something else. So that is the interactive. If you want to do it in a printable, this is the printable for it. Again, all of this is available in the supplemental resources up at the top. And then finally, we have read your own spooky story with sound effects. So the last lesson we did talk about writing your own spooky story. If you have finished it, awesome. Read it with a spooky story, sound effects. If you haven't, this is an opportunity to finish it and then read it with sound effects. And if you didn't do the story, or you didn't have time, or XYZ, just delete this. Alrighty, that is the end of grade 5, extra lesson for October week 5. Now let's go to our final middle school. Alrighty, welcome to middle school October week 5 extra lesson. So before we jump into it, make sure you take a look. Does that list work for your class? If it does, awesome. If it doesn't, go to copy to my list and make your own stuff. It's pretty Halloween focused, so if it's not, if you're no longer in Halloween land, I would take a look at Scarborough Fair. There's Scarborough Fair and Greensleeves. We are going to talk about those two later on in November, but that's an option if you're looking for something different. Alrighty, so we're going to start with Play Along with Hobgoblin. This is from Scenes from a Childhood. I have included the Play Along here. The piece itself is pretty interesting because it's the idea that like a nightmare, right? And what would you be dreaming about as a child while you're having nightmares? So there are some extensions available there. Maybe not talking about nightmares itself, but the different kinds of scenes that you can have. So Hobgoblin is one of those scenes. And here's a play along if that floats your boat. And then learning a little bit about Robert Schumann, who is, of course, the composer of Hobgoblin. And alrighty, now we're to the Monster Mash. So I did include the reviewing the actions for the Double Dutch Challenge again. This was the stuff that I brought up last week. And I've also included the Monster Mash again. If you did it last week at a reduced tempo, I would challenge you to maybe pick up the tempo a little bit. Monster Mash is at 140 beats per minute. So it is pretty challenging, just at regular speed. So see if your students are ready for the challenge. Alrighty, scrolling down. If we're not doing any kind of movement, I have included the cup game for Monster Mash. The written instructions are also available in the supplemental resources, so take a look if the video is not cutting it. Alrighty. Now we are also going to create a rondo with treats. This is the printable, and then the projectable follows, or I should say the interactive activity follows. The same activity, just different formats. And then, of course, an opportunity to review your spooky story and play it with sound effects. And that pretty much brings us to the end of October week 5, the extra lessons. So definitely take a look and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And can't wait to see you for November week 1. See you later.